Hello guys, it's Keith here, and a bit of a flash warning in the preview section because we're gonna be and again getting nuked and again we're gonna be using our Mr. Turtle deck here, fielding a lot of tanks as well as powerful infantries, and we're gonna be playing on Ignalina Power Plant, finding ourselves in the center once again. Now this one is, I think it's a very interesting match depending on how much do you like nukes and all. But without further ado, I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy the match. Definitely, we're gonna show you what it means to have a better tactic against mass nukes. And with the start of the fight, we're gonna be bringing out the Mig-29k. This is a decent aircraft, I think. I have the Mig-29k equipped with 4 long-range 7 kilometers anti-aircraft missiles, able to launch these missiles against these American airplanes that we're coming up against. But we're gonna be coming up against triple F-22 Raptor as well as an FA-18C Hornet, and my Mig-29k does not stand a chance. This is gonna be quickly brought down. And you notice that I'm the only one bringing any aircraft from our team here. Even if that's the case, I think it's important why you should bring out an aircraft. At least somebody from your team should always bring out an aircraft. And the reason why you want to be doing so is that you can spot what the enemy is investing in earlier in the game. In this case, we're going to be seeing a lot of aircraft from the enemy side, using a Su-33 to really charge ahead and trying to eliminate the enemy Hornet. Our Su-33 is going to be uncovering the fact that the enemy has multiple helicopters now moving quickly towards our position. And the red player does have a helicopter coming into Gamma. So we're going to have to watch out for Gamma, because the enemy is already committing some of the troops towards our side of the front. Having aircrafts in the beginning is going to help you, one, win over the air engagement, and 2, provide some early indication of what the enemy might be bringing or committing to in the game. In this case, we're not going to expect a lot of ground forces to begin with, but once the enemy resupply or refund the aircraft, then we're going to be seeing some. Our ground forces here has already been called in, and it's going to be fast moving into the positions here. But earlier we did manage to see that the enemy is bringing some helicopters, so like I said, the Gamma sector is definitely something we're gonna have to watch out for. As our olive teammate here pushes in, we're gonna see the Peach player's Black Hawk is trying to deploy some units to our front lines, and hopefully we're gonna catch them out. So far, we're seeing a Cavalry Scout belonging to the Peach player, as well as a Stinger team belonging to the Red. Olive player's Typhoon is going to bring down the Black Hawk, which is going to help us with our scores, as our BTR-80s now charges in to eliminate the enemy infantry. These Cavalry Scouts is going to require the range here, but our BTR as well as Genevieve is going to quickly eliminate that Cavalry Scout before he can land any shots towards us. I do have a Kurganets with the Gvadi Motostruggy teams. This Kurganets is going to deploy its units into Gamma and try to dislodge or remove the enemy Stinger teams. The BTRs are going to push on ahead with the Cherniev as well as the Concussive and Verba team. We're going to have to quickly move into Echo right now, because I want to secure a good position in Echo, especially the tall buildings here, so that they can provide me recon vision on what to expect or what kind of enemy assets might be approaching towards our position. In this case, we do manage to see that Peach player has already brought up a couple of Bradley ESVs. These Bradleys do come equipped with missiles that are able to target infantry units, so we're gonna have to be careful about it. Genevieve is going to be deployed to the building on the top side here. We do manage to spot the orange player's Avengers, a weaker unit here, a Humvee with missile launchers attached to it. So our BTRs are going to push in and try to eliminate that piece for now. Seeing as we're coming up against double Bradley teams, we're going to have to queue up or move our Conquers and Verba teams away from that building right now. Because I think I'm sure that the Conquers are no match for the Bradleys there. BTS trying to take out the Avenger. Unfortunately, the Avenger smokes out in time. As this double Bradley is punishing my Chernihiv down to a very low health, we're gonna queue up the Cherni squad and into the BTR and get them back into safety. The Kurganets coming in, the body teams. Unfortunately, purple player is also bringing in a couple of helicopters here, landing some troops. We were so close at destroying the Osprey, which would have saved us a lot of trouble, but unfortunately we now have to deal with double Delta teams, a small squad as well as a AGS squad. So the enemy has a solid foothold inside Echo right now, while our units here are battered. It's gonna be forced to withdraw from the sector here. Lime green teammate charging his BMP once deep into enemy lines here, hopefully to get into a position in Foxtrot to secure that section here. Our units now are gonna have to focus on the defense, so we're pulling our units back into Gamma and trying to bolster up the defense by bringing in fresh reinforcements and getting the wounded units to a supply dump here. Thankfully, we have some very solid teammates, as the right side of the map here is fully covered by my teal teammate, as well as the the neon green player here. They're going to be capturing that objective, securing our right flank. We're going to have to make sure that we focus on the front, as our olive player here is going to be making the mistake of putting his helicopter too close to the front line here. As you can see, the type of ammunition that's coming on from the purple player side means that the Delta team that is brought in is actually the standoff version, where they're going to be equipped with some, I think it's called the APKS missiles, as well as the AGS. So a thing to note about the AGS squad is the AGS is capable of bringing down helicopters very, very efficiently. So when you do see AGS, which is the grenade launcher squads, you want to be careful about putting your helicopters too close to the front lines. The pink player has just dropped the first nuke of the game towards the left side, wiping out my teammates, the lime green teammate here, your cousin Vinny, in that sector. It's definitely not going to be the last nuke. In this case, the enemy is fielding a lot of nuclear armaments themselves. Nevertheless, we're going to be focusing on the defense here in Gamma, trying to build up our forces before we push back into Echo. I do have a T-80 here, and judging from the type of units that the purple player is bringing in, I'm confident that the purple player does not have any units nearby that could potentially harm my tank. These wounded units, the Chernihiv as well as the Verba that's been brought back to the supply dump, is now fully freshened up. And we're going to be quickly using the PTR to ship them back to the front lines to defend Gamma. Peach player did bring out a M1A2 SEP here. The Conquerors is going to be engaging that tank as well as the T-80 as well. Peach player making the mistake of pushing his tank too deep right now and not getting him into a position where he can be concealed. So my tank as well as the Conqueror squad is going to have a good time hunting that down and successfully destroying the enemy M1A2. Olive green players' helicopters have been roaming around the tree line here, does manage to take out the enemy Delta team as well. And same situation as the previous video, because of the nature of the deck here, I'm using the MTSM to bring out a large supply dump as well as a K29 to split them apart. In this game, because the tree lines offers relatively more cover, I'm going to be using the MTSM to move the supplies to the front, while the K29 is going to be busy shipping the supplies in the backside here. You see that I've also brought out a TOS-1 Buratino. The Buratino is going to be my go-to here, because the enemy player, especially the purple player here, has been seen bringing up a lot of infantry currently holding out in these positions here. I want to be using the Buratino to bombard the area, soften up the targets, and hopefully kill them before my infantry and units have to move in to assault the Echo location here. Unfortunately, our Gavadi pushing up north is going to be bumping into the enemy Green Berets. The Green Berets are equipped with the incendiary launcher, so definitely a very painful target against my infantry here. So my infantry is going to have to fall back while I move the Chernihiv to eliminate the Green Berets. Buratino striking beautifully into one of these buildings here, takes out 2 of the enemy purple players' units, so that's going to be a solid win as this Gavadi squad pushes up. It's going to be uncovering the Peach players Bradley as well as another AGS team. A second nuke goes off to the right side of the map here. Doesn't really do too much, I think, but hopefully it's still, the enemy has been bringing a lot of nuke. This one belongs to the red player this time as he brought out his own B2 Spirit. And let me know in the comments below what you think about nukes in this game, because I think, personally, I think it's just part of the game. So either you have it or you don't, and you want to use it. It's up to you. It's just something that we have to deal with in this game. As BTR takes out the Kiowa. I think what this match shows is our team was exceptional at using our units in a way that counters the enemy's forces. We were I think our teammates here displayed a solid understanding of helicopter movements, the positioning of units into certain locations, instead of just relying on nukes. As our Buratino comes in and destroys more buildings where the enemy hasn't yet moved their units apart. So it's things like that. You want to keep your units constantly moving, keep them away from suspected positions. I think our team demonstrated that better than the other team here. Let me know in the comments below what you think about nukes. Anyway, back to the game. Chernihiv now uncovering one of the enemy RRCs, is going to be engaging. It's our team, as our T80 here pushes in to support, but it's going to be coming under fire from the Peach players' mechanized infantry here with their 84 is going to be launching several rockets to the T80 side armor. So sensing that I still don't have enough units to push into Echo effectively, I'm gonna have to force my units to fall back into the supply dumps and wait or call in more reinforcements here. I want to have the numbers on my side before engaging, pushing out into the enemy's position. My Gvadi here is gonna take cover inside that tall high-rise building there. Reason for me doing so is because I want to see, I want to at least spot the enemy movements inside the sector, just to alert me that the enemy might have units in that position at all. In a quick battle of the Berets here, the Chernihiv beat the Green Berets. The Green Berets does have 4-man strong. Chernihiv is 7-man strong. It's thus equipped with the thermobaric launchers, so in that case, Chernihiv Bereti was able to eliminate the Green Beret. You can see I already have the S350 Vityaz in station right now, and this SAM battery here is going to be my answer to the enemy's pervasive use of aircrafts already. So hopefully we're going to get a lot of kills with this S300, and definitely something that you should have as well in your deck. Nevertheless, more supplies are being brought up to the front, as well as the helicopter now bringing in crucial supplies as well as reinforcements to the front lines here. Using helicopters is a good way to really quickly bring units to the front line or wherever you need them to be. This Chernihiv getting wounded is going to be told to hop into the BTR. BTR is going to drive back to one of the supply dumps here. Already you can see the Mstas VFF, which is going to be my recon squads, as well as more Chernihiv teams. It's going to be told to push into the tree lines here as we get ready for a second assault into the Echo position. On the right side here in Charlie, our teammate in Teal has been doing fantastic as the swarm of infantry that he has been quickly overwhelming the enemy position on that side, so it's going to be pushing the front lines further ahead, preventing the enemy from capturing Charlie in the first place. We're going to be looking to do the same in the center here, but we're going to have to need to build up our forces here, and that's generally what you want to do when your assault fails. You want to make sure that you be patient and fall back a little bit, make sure that you defend your sectors, and crucially bring reinforcements to build up your forces back. when you're assaulting the next position, you want to make sure that you do it from a position of power, and that means having the most amount of advantage as you can. This means bringing more units. Numbers definitely is a way to think about advantages, but in this case, the enemy has also brought up reinforcements to shore up their defenses in Echo. So our forces are going to have a showdown right now in the Echo sectors, coming to the end of phase 1 with 40 seconds left. Our forces here are going to be evenly matched, but not for much longer, because the enemy's cruise missiles comes down and strikes one of my Kurganets, bringing it down. Our tank in a good position to be engaging this Delta team. It's going to be quickly taking that out. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of pushing my tank out to the front, and it's going to exit its cover, and it's going to come under fire from multiple enemy units here. We're going to quickly lose that T-80 needlessly. So that was definitely a mistake on my end. And with the enemy shoring up its defenses, a lot of healthy units here, and a third player now joining into the fight in Echo, I sense that we do not have enough to really take this position once again. We're gonna fall back and find good cover, good positions for our infantry to ambush the enemy's tanks, and hopefully get them back to safety. You can quickly see that the orange player is bringing a couple of Sheridans as well as the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts are actually a very dangerous threat to armor as well. Even though they're slightly weaker in terms of armor value, their main tank gun is actually capable of penetrating even the heaviest of armors. So we're gonna have a rough time here. So I want to make sure that my infantry, the Chernihiv as well as the Gvardi teams, that are equipped with multiple missile launchers here, are gonna be in position to ambush these tanks here. Unfortunately, the enemy cruise missile strikes precisely where my Buratino is, and I think it was the fact that I left my Ka-29 to just hovering over the Buratino, which made the enemy player suspect that there might have been a supply dump there. So that was a silly mistake on my end. I should have moved the Ka-29 away. Nevertheless, the orange player here makes a mistake of pushing his tank too close up to the front line here, as our units are in position to flank and surround the Thunderbolts. Our tank, a new tank now, is going to be pushed in, destroys one of the enemy Thunderbolts. As the second one comes under fire, our Cornet team is going to take it out. Purple players, Green Berets team still in a position to put out incendiary launchers. Our Chernihiv replying with some of the thermal barracks, but the AGS is going to hammer us very hard right now, and we're going to be forced to pull back the Chernihiv teams. Spetsnaz VMS as well as the BTR currently still and finally taking out the enemy AGS squad. Once again, we find ourselves not gaining the momentum here, as our units are battered on the front lines. We didn't really commit all of our units at the same time. So some of the units that I have on the north side here are going to be pushed up to cover the front. As our teal player here has already successfully captured Foxtrot, that is going to draw the enemy's attention temporarily in Foxtrot, which is going to give us that time to build up our forces and push back into the Echo position. You see me queuing up 4 Mstas right now, and I've been dying to use Mstas or any form of artillery. Brief note here. If you've spotted that the green player's Orthonic was actually under panic, and I noticed that because usually when this happens is because the Orthonic was under fire. So what I'm doing right now is I'm telling the Ka-29 to just attack move across some of the sectors here, just because I suspect that there might have been an enemy sniper deep behind our lines here. So having a Ka-29 or a helicopter in the back is useful for you to spot some of the enemy recons that have been dropped down deep behind your lines. And eventually, we're not going to show it on screen, but I was paying attention to the minimap after watching this. The Ka-29 does successfully find the sniper teams in one of these high-rises here, notably the north side high-rises that was on the map just now. Nevertheless, our Gvardi team, as well as most of our infantry now, our infantry are taking positions here, getting into the supply dump to get recharged, rearmed and repaired. Gvardi team is able to intercept this ACV, but it's still gonna come under fire against the enemy Green Berets, so very quickly burning our Gvardi team, so we're gonna have to quickly bring them back to the supply dump. A BMP T-Terminator has been brought up, and I'm going to use this solely on punishing or dishing out immense DPS against these enemy units that are hiding inside these buildings right now. Our units now topped up. We're going to be telling them to move into the tree line here, getting ready for another assault into Echo, as our tank on this side is going to be spotting a couple of thunderbolts here. Going to be launching his first strike, unfortunately hitting the side of the building there. The enemy thunderbolts does find its shot into the T-80 UM, so the T-80 is going to have to reply back, and this time it's going to be hitting one of the rear thunderbolts from the side, as our infantry hiding out in the tree line is going to be able to ambush them very quickly and quickly eliminate both Thunderbolt tanks here. So solid display of ambushing tactics here, and definitely a mistake on the orange player side for not respecting the tree line here, where my units have been camped out for quite a while here. K-29 has performed its recon mission and did successfully find one of the enemy sniper teams camped out, so we're going to be eliminating that. So that was definitely a good win for us, because having a sniper team behind our lines is going to help the enemy team spot the location of our rear assets, our supply depots, as well as some of the units that we might be bringing in as well. With the position of my units now in position, so I'm going to be telling the Cherniv teams to really sprint into the objective here and try to engage the enemy forces here. We're going to be quickly joined by the green players' helicopters now. It's going to be absolutely crucial here at providing some of these rocket fire supports. Our tanks are now moving into position to provide range and damage into this position as well. You can see the helicopters definitely helping us a ton, as there are rockets now quickly eviscerating the Peach players' units. Our BMP Terminator also striking the enemy's tanks in the tree lines here. And friendly artillery from the left side hitting directly on the mark. As we clear out the Echo objectives, securing the position, we're going to chase down the remaining tanks as well. That was a solid display of teamwork, absolute crucial timing on my teammate's side with his helicopters, providing my infantry the valuable support. We end up demolishing most of the enemy units in a short amount of time. Definitely a good fight to win. As our S-300 fired from the supply dump, we're gonna have to quickly move it out of the way and get the MTSM to fetch the supply and move it to another location as well. That's definitely something you want to consider as well when your AA piece is fired from the supply dump. First of all, never fire your AA piece from the supply dump. It's gonna just expose your supply dump to the enemy. But if that happens, all you need to do is just pick it up and move it to a different location. All throughout the front, our teammates has been doing exceptionally well, capturing most of the objective points right now, and the only objective points to focus on is the Foxtrot as well as the Alpha objective, which naturally belongs to the enemy right now, but our forces now are gearing up for a very solid push to try and dislodge the enemy from this side of the front. Our own forces here are still in a relatively healthy position, but we definitely need to bring the supplies in right now to make sure that we get these units that are wounded back to full health and rearm them whenever we can. TU player has been crucial crucial using its Terminators as well as the T-14 Armatas as a spearhead against the enemy forces here, but you note that the Peach player is also bringing in a lot of units at the same time, and definitely you don't want to be bunching up your units together, because that's just gonna encourage more bombs to drop into your location and really penalize you for bunching up by having units to surround and destroy the enemy units like so. But the enemy Guardian is going to show up right now, and it's going to be a dangerous threat against my Terminators as well as our teammates' vehicles. The Sosna as well as the Verba team are going to try to destroy the Guardian, and in fact does end up destroying the Guardian itself. Purple player now bringing in his Vipers, and Sosna is once again going to be absolutely crucial right now, launching his missiles in an attempt to destroy these Vipers. Unfortunately missing a couple of misses here, but we do manage to take one down, and it's only a matter of time before we bring down the second one. But throughout this entire fight, if you been paying attention to the minimap right now, red player as well as the pink player has been gathering up a lot of units here on the right side of the screen right now, and has deposited or deployed a lot of forces inside Charlie. So we're at the risk of losing Charlie right now. Some of my teammates are gonna have to shift their units back into Charlie to try and recapture that location. Mr. successfully destroys the ammunition dump belonging to the enemy player, so we're gonna deny the enemy some of the safer locations for now. You can see I brought up some more supplies, and I'm telling in the team chat right now to tell Asna. Asna is the teal player with his double T14s here, and I want to be helping my teammate here to resupply their units, because if their units are healthy, they're gonna help us defend the front even better. Briefly, we managed to see Peach player moving his pack 3 missiles to the left side of the map here, and I'm in a position to use some of my units here to try and hunt those down, and just in the nick of time, because the enemy F-22 Raptor comes in for a strafing run against the Sosna that was in that position previously. The F-22 Raptor moves into very quickly to the back here, takes out one of my teammates' aircraft, but our S-350 Vityaz managed to destroy the enemy Raptor, so that definitely helps us with the score. But our teammate here is going to have to be forced to move most of their units back into Charlie to dislodge or remove the pink and red players from that position. More supplies are being brought up to the front, as this time the Peach player has a Guardian stationed at this sector here, so our tank is unfortunately getting spotted. We're gonna have to dive in deep into the tree line here. The Guardian does come equipped with some very exceptional optics here, so it was able to keep line of sight of my tank, and unfortunately I did not smoke my tank quick enough, and we're gonna end up losing that T80UM to the enemy Apache. Fortunately, however, our Sosna as well as the Kurganet managed to take down the Apache. I'm going to be using our Kurganets to try and hunt the remaining pack missiles there. Pink players' pack missiles are bundled up together, so this is the perfect target for my Mstas. My Mstas are going to be launching some long-range barrage directly onto the pink player's position. When you use long-range artillery, it's crucial you don't station them in a supply dump just like that, or even together in the first place, because that's exactly what will happen to you if you station them together. Kurganets in a perfect position to ambush the orange player's Kiowas, and it's gonna also spot down a couple of LAVs that the orange player is bringing into the front lines. As a note here, the pack 3 missiles belonging to pink player here was stationed on top of a supply dump, and the artillery destroys the supply dump, causing a catastrophic explosion that takes out both of the Patriot missiles too. Our Kurganets was exceptionally well placed, able to catch out the enemy reinforcements. The pink player now decides to nuke our position, and this time it is my turn to get nuked. Well, and it was an unfortunate nuke, because a lot of my heavy assets here, my tanks, as a couple of my T80s, as well as the T90M, I think, was already brought up a long way from the front, and we're gonna end up losing them to the nuke. A second nuke belonging to the Peach player here is gonna be dropped onto the Echo sector. We don't lose anything, but our teammate here did have some units stationed on that section here. Very quickly, thankfully some of my infantry survived that attempt. I'm gonna have to move them into position to cover the road, as I am fearful that the enemy might have some units pushing onto our position now, taking advantage of that nuke. So again, the enemy has been very pervasive in using nukes here. We've already seen the red player, the pink player, as well as the peach player now fielding nuclear armaments themselves. It's not a fun time for us. In this case, unfortunately, the enemy Apache Guardian here, the Apache Longbow, managed to find my Mr. trying to take cover inside these buildings here. So we're gonna quickly bring the Mstas back towards our lines, get them back to safety as we bring out the Su-33 to try and cover the Mstas from the enemy helicopter. Our teammate finally managed to eliminate the enemy's forces here in Charlie, and it's gonna quickly secure Charlie once again for our team. This was such a wild fight. I think the enemy has been constantly using a lot of nukes against us, but I think so far we're still demonstrating good fundamentals in the game, where we use our units sparingly, we approach when we need to, we approach when we have the critical mass to do so. It's just unfortunate that we don't have nukes. Nevertheless, the Su-33 is going to fly around and trying to take out the enemy longbow that has been trying to hunt our Mstas here. Unfortunately, unable to take out the longbow, so the longbow is going to be able to launch a couple of Hellfire missiles towards my Mstas. My NTSM supply truck is going to have to dive behind the building here to take cover. Thankfully, the teammate's helicopter is going to be coming in in a crutch timing. Oh no. The red player's B2 spirits now dropping another nuclear attempts. And my Su-33 unfortunately unable to bring it down, so it still has 70 ammo left in its gun. It's gonna try to shoot it down, but thankfully, or rather unfortunately, my teammate's book definitely brings it down. So the Su-33, like I said, a bit mixed feeling about this aircraft here. It's good, it's bad. I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I need to rework how the Su-33 is equipped in my deck here. Nevertheless, our forces across the front here has been devastated by these nukes, and the enemy is quick to bring triple nukes into the section here. Double enemy prowlers coming in, destroys a couple of these ulcers that my teammate has been bringing in. We're gonna have to quickly bring some reinforcements of our own because the Peach player already has some Bradleys in station capturing Foxtrot. Double enemy Kiowas here flying overhead across my infantry here. The Gavadi teams is going to be able to use their machine guns to try and damage these Kiowa, unable to bring down one, so my teammate's helicopter is going to be forced to engage the enemy Kiowa in close range. We do bring down one, my teammate suffers a helicopter loss here, but in the end we successfully destroyed both of the enemy Kiowas. The nature of this map is that the reinforcing routes is so far behind, it's gonna take a long time before any reinforcements reaches us in the Echo's location. Sorry, the Echo objective right now. So whatever units that we have left, we're gonna have to make sure that they find suitable positions to cover. As you can see now, the center is looking very thin. Thankfully, we still have the green player's helicopter on station to try and provide some support. Pink player's Comanche here is going to be engaging that said helicopter, but our Sosna is quickly in a good position here, launching counter missiles here to engage the Comanche. In the end, we do end up taking down the enemy Comanche ourselves, so solid kill for the Sosna. But once again, the center is looking very thin here, so our tanks are going to have to really speed up and move into the Echo position to protect against any enemy assault. It's been a rather wild game so far, but things are just gonna get wilder in the second half. But before that, I just want to say, if you're watching it to this point, I just want to say thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it that you like and view these kind of types of videos. I'm slowly growing up my channel, definitely more content in the future. Nevertheless, just want to say a quick thank you, that's all. Anyway, back to the game. Teammates using a lot of helicopters now. The helicopters have been crucial at defending our sectors here, able to provide some very quick mobility across the wide array of fields here, as the enemy Peach player as well as the red player brings in a double convoy of forces. These are just Bradleys mixed in with a couple of tanks here, and it's gonna be a weird little convoy of troops. the supply dump that we brought in earlier has been captured, but acts as a de facto IED here, exploding it on contact against my teammates' rockets is going to be damaging some of these units here. I really wish that we have a bomb equipped or something that we could destroy in one go. But unfortunately, all we have left right now are the tanks in position, so our tanks are going to have to put in the extra work at keeping the enemy at bay, holding them down onto Echo as the enemy groups them up for a nice juicy bomb strike. Teammate is going to be using his cruise missiles to try and destroy these enemy vehicles at the same time. One does land beautifully, but unfortunately it doesn't take out a lot. Our tanks are now going to have to fight these Bradleys as well as the tank that is among them right now. So teammate on the right, on the left here with his helicopters, quickly bringing in the helicopters to destroy these enemy vehicles. Teammate on the top, the Neon is going to have his infantry destroy the killer eggs. So our tank pushes in to mop up any forces left. Purple player bringing in a couple of Hornets to strike our tanks. One does get taken down by the S350 and we only have one tank left in the field. So that was in my opinion, I think the enemy team should have done a better job at assaulting, because honestly speaking, if they spread out their assets, their units across the wider front and use the cover to their advantage and drop off more infantry, they would have definitely secured Echo and prevented us from destroying all their forces needlessly like that. So a bit of a misplay on the enemy side, which is definitely going to help us a lot in the long run, as our teammate Green here bringing out a couple of tanks to capture the Echo position for us. We're going to be retreating our T-80UM to the supply dump on the left and get it patched up and get back into the fight once again. So the convoy method of just rushing your troops in, not so effective, I think, at higher elos. It's better to have decent positions, move your units up deliberately instead of just charging onto the convoy like that. Nevertheless, our supplies are still busy being shipping up to the front here, and we're using the KA-29 to move the supplies up to the front and hopefully to resupply our units as well as our teammates. But this is the time when Pink Players decides to push all of his strikers again into the hotel in a convoy fashion, just running down the road and destroying any assets that my teammates have. The enemy bombing strike does destroy my S300. So we're going to be lacking in the AA front. Our T-80UM now patched up is going to have to push to the left side here to try and delay or assist in the defense of hotel sector. Again, the beach player is already bringing in a couple of Bradleys. These ones are the recon version of the Bradleys on the right side. It's a bit suspect that the enemy was able to field so much in such short time. Nonetheless, we're going to have to soldier on and keep the enemy at bay. Throughout the entire time, I think we do have several reinforcements making their way towards the Echo position right now. But at this point in time, seeing that hotel is lost, we're going to use our Mig-29 to do a strafing run to destroy the supply dump and prevent the enemy from using the supply dump to heal their strikers up. Mig-29 is going to come in for a strafing run, destroys the supply dump like I mentioned earlier, but it's going to come under fire from the enemy sand batteries. We do end up getting shot down by the Stinger missiles ourselves, but our friendly player with his Tu-160 is going to be launching a nuke onto hotel. And I was so confused at this point, and I was wondering if that was our nuke or the enemy has misplayed their nuke. And in fact, it was ours. As you can see in the chat here, our teammate here was ecstatic that the enemy has finally had a taste of their own medicine, getting nuked back themselves. This was such a wild game, having this many nuke. It's definitely not normal, I think. So it's definitely let me know in the comments if you what are your thoughts on nukes? That's all. Su-33 is going to be brought up to try and eliminate the F-22 Raptor that's been terrorizing our back lines here. As the Peach player still has a lot of points for some reason, is going to be bringing up a couple of tanks here, as well as the Bradley. These are the recon version of the Bradleys. Unfortunately, bumping into a lot of my reinforcing units. Our BTRs are getting destroyed, but the Gvadi is going to be dismounted and engaging the enemy heavy tanks head on. The T-80UD, T-80UM also providing a lot of fire support, as well as the concussive as well. But with our units now exposed on the main road, we're going to have to quickly tell them to move out of position, get them as far away from the road as possible, as no doubt the enemy must have queued up a bombing run or cruise missile strike. T-80 going back to the supply dump that it has been relying on for so many times now, as our BTRs are moving the units back into position as well. This Kurganet is going to be deploying the Chini team into Foxtrot as the enemy cruise missiles comes in and destroys the BTR as well as the Gvadi teams. The units that I have are in a complete disarray, as whatever forces we can that we still have left are gonna be moved into the tree lines here, trying to get into safety and finding ourselves some flanking position, because the enemy has been constantly using nukes and mass blob of units now charging towards our positions. Thankfully, however, we do manage to capture Foxtrot and we're back to a very healthy score lead here. If you check the score, our scores now is 10-1. We're in the position to be securing a further 9 plus 6, 15 points in advantage. Right? Yeah, 15 points in advantage. This is the time that the red player now has decided it is his turn to use the convoy method. So he's going to be bringing in a lot of striker ICVs. The pink players now, it's double Osprey going into the left sector, as our units are now in a somewhat decent position to be able to flank these ICV just rolling down the main road here. Our T-80 is going to have to hold the ground on the center and destroy the approaching ICVs. Our BTRs as well as the Kurganets was able to find line of sight against the purple player's Slav AD, but the purple player is also bringing in their own tanks, and Peach player once again fielding a lot of Bradleys that were destroyed earlier on. I'm just curious, guys, like how is it possible that they were able to field so much in such short amount of time? We barely have anything on the field at this point. Nevertheless, our tank is still in a good position to engage these enemy vehicles from range. So Mstas also trying to provide some close range artillery support. Our Verba team is going to be engaging the enemy longbow. Kurganets trying to push out to engage the enemy artilleries that have been peppering us. Cherniev dropping off to find cover inside the tree lines. Things are just turning into a crazy mayhem of units movement right now. With all tactical knowledge going off the books right now, we're just gonna be brawling it out in the center of the map here. But thankfully, the enemy's assault into our position is blunted by the concerted effort from our teammates here. Teammates really crucial. Exceptional teammates here bringing in some of these firepowers here. And Peach player just sending waves after waves of these Bradleys. The Bradleys are not able to penetrate the T-80's frontal armor here, so we're gonna have a good time destroying most of these Bradleys. Kurganets pushing in close is gonna find themselves facing off against the AH-64 longbow. But the Kurganets with its autocannon is going to be quickly destroying that longbow, as the enemy Comanche now floating over these burning wrecks. Excuse me, is going to be engaging my teammates' helicopters. Cruise missiles coming in, destroys my tank as the pink player now brings out another nuke. And once again, because their seed missions has been destroying our AA, we don't have any assets left to destroy the enemy nuke before it bombs the sector once again. We're going to be bringing out the Mig-29k as the phase 3 is about to end, 50 seconds left on the clock, and at this point any reinforcements we bring in, it's going to have to be the aircraft, because the aircrafts are the only way that we're going to have to make a difference here. Mig-29 pushes in deep to destroy the enemy B-1B Lancer, does manage to take it out before it drops off the nuke. The Su-33s, both of them has been brought out to try and eliminate the enemy aircraft that is also hovering about. Su-33 is going to be engaging the Prowler right now, belonging to the orange player. Lands one missile somewhat, destroys the F-15 Eagle, as well as taking out the Prowler and bringing down the enemy recon drone. The enemy still has so much points to bring out everything that they can in the bag, so it was definitely very sus. Let me know in the comments what you think that might have been, or maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that's it. GG. Game ends, and what a weird, wild game. We ended up having 28-1, 12,560 kills, 7,385 deaths, with a strong KD ratio of 1.70. What a weird game, and I just don't know what to say about this. I hope you enjoyed that one. Just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.